I was going to do this a little bit earlier, but I went golfing today. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Let me play around with this. It's a little bit light. You know what? We're still trying to figure it out in here. We ordered a bunch of stuff. Still doesn't come in. Thank you for that, China. But I want to get to a lot of stuff today. And as much as we can, we're going to squeeze it all in. I went to play golf today. It was a lot of fun. I hung out with my buddy and his girl and one of their friends. And it was good to get out. I needed that. We need that every once in a while. Remind everybody, get out there. I got a little sunburn too. And partly to get out of the world of insanity. You know, I mean, I talk a lot of politics and it's crazy. You know, it's like, did you guys know that Trump took over DC? I'm like, no way, did he? He did. He did. He owns it now. Does he? I own it. It's going to be great. It's going to be the best. It's never been better. It's been probably the best it's ever been. And people are freaking out about this. DC is a bit of a dump in certain areas. And the crime statistics, who do you believe, right? Because the guy that was doing the statistics, did he fudge on those? He got suspended. I've got friends who've never seen anything ever untoward to anybody there. And they've seen some homeless and they've lived there for a long time. And I've got friends who've seen some crap. What is it? But it is the place that's supposed to give the home field advantage for the United States of America. And the District of Columbia was set up in such a way as to not give, because everybody always, I hear the Democrats, we should make it a state. We should make it a state. We should make it this. No, you can't. The whole point of the District of Columbia, it's essentially, it was not set up to be a place that people lived and worked. It wasn't. It was a place for people to work temporarily, then go back to their home states and do their job there. Think of it as a strip mall. You're not supposed to live at the strip mall, but they've turned it into something. And they wanted it to be something that didn't give one state an advantage over another state. And that's what this is. But yes, Trump decided, I'm taking it over because big balls, you stop something. Big balls, big bad balls. And so that was it. I've had enough. They kicked big balls right in the balls, and we can't do this anymore. So we're going to have to fix the problem.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
Great. Fantastic. Let's get it over with. He's got 30 days, and then he can extend it if Congress says it's okay to extend it. Do I think he's going to do that? I don't know. He's like, you should really watch out because we're coming for all the other cities. District of Columbia is an odd place because not only does he have this power, it's the only court in land, if I'm correct, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct about this, that does in the courts, because essentially it's the District of Columbia. It is, think of the Department of Justice. These are the people handling it. It's not the DA that was voted in kind of thing. So you've got this situation where they actually, I think if I'm correct, they're the only court that does both federal. So you could be the assistant DA, district attorney for the state of, for the District of Columbia and the states, United States of America, and you both federal and local trials. So it's an odd thing. Settle down. Okay, let's get over it. But Chad, he's gonna what? I'm gonna raise a stink if he decides he's gonna start taking over cities and moving things in that kind of way. This, he's got every right to do it. Legally, he is 100% on point. Normally Trump, he throws stuff out there. It's like, you don't understand. And you're like, okay, there's going to be lawsuits. They know they can do nothing. Marion Bowser's like, I can't believe this is happening. And you're like, because she knows she can't do anything. Now, what do the numbers really look like? I don't know. And yesterday was a perfect example of data bullshit and this is where I get frustrated in the world of politics, because everybody wants to give their side of the story. I'm going to tell you my team's score, and then you guys are going to have to go from there. So Chris Murphy of Connecticut, senator, comes out and he says, do you know that the states with the most murders, they're red states on average per capita? That's true, but you left out that those cities, Memphis, Detroit, you start going through it all, and you're like, oh, hold on. They're all run by the blue. Kansas City, St. Louis, they're all run by the blue side. Red state, blue city, issues. Truth, but only partial truth. And that's the world that we live in. And that's why it's so frustrating. And I try to do things different because I just want to know the truth. I don't give a rat's ass about a lot of the other stuff. Everybody else wants to freak out about shit. That's just stupid. It drives me crazy. Oh my God, he's taking over the world. He's going to do all these things. He's not. He's got every right to do this. He's got 30 days to figure it out. And you're going to have, I guess, ATF's going to be involved. I think the DEA, head of the DEA took over the police today. As, and you're going to see who knows what, in the next few. And I don't know how bad it really is, because every large city, I was talking to my mom about this today, every large city in the world has areas that are troubled. We hear about Chicago, how horrible Chicago is. It's a small area in Chicago that has a lot of issues. But for the most part, Chicago's pretty damn good, pretty safe. But there are areas that are awful. DC's not supposed to be that, though. DC's supposed to be something different. And he said something that I thought was so on point. I give Trump a lot of crap. I give everybody a lot of crap. I give myself a lot of crap. And he said his dad, and then of course, he goes, dad, greatest dad, all that kind of stuff that he does. But he said, if you go into a restaurant and you go to open the door and the door is dirty, turn and leave. Because if they can't clean the door, what do you think the kitchen's like? And I thought, it's pretty damn good. And yes, the squalor, the slums, whatever he wants to call it, we've got way too many homeless people. We've decided that, in some areas that, living outdoors, camping outdoors for your entire life while doing heroin and fentanyl and urinating in the corner, talking to yourself is a lifestyle choice, and it's not. Vast majority of these people are mentally ill. And when I hear somebody goes, the problem is they missed a paycheck. Honey, they haven't had a paycheck in years. They ain't missed shit, right? They're a mess. And handing them an apartment isn't going to fix crazy, because that's a lot of what's happened. Sometimes mental illness leads them to drugs. Sometimes they take so much drugs, they become mentally ill. Either way, handing them keys to an apartment and saying, you're going to get yourself clean on this, isn't going to happen. See every place it's ever been tried and tell me how that's worked out. So if you're worried about Trump taking over and militarizing and running everywhere, he believes that the crime is out of control, that isn't going to happen. It isn't. For the most part, we live in a pretty damn safe time. We do. We got some issues in certain areas that need to be mopped up, but it's an overreaction from the left based on something that he's allowed to do. And we'll see what it looks like in 30 days. We will. Is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be mistakes? Is it going to be all kinds of stuff? Is it going to be something we forget about in 10 days and go, oh yeah, I forgot all about that? That's always a possibility as well. Something that's not a possibility is there will be forgetting about is the midterms next year. And the insanity of, first of all, the ridiculousness of the Texas Democrats. I understand why you did it, but let's just get it done with. Okay. It's coming. It is. And it's frustrating that we live at a time when they pick us, we don't pick them. And that was interesting because Jake Tapper actually brought that up to Governor Abbott.
Well, let me ask you just this final question, sir, as a bigger picture item, which is what's unusual about this is that you're attempting to do it in 2025 as opposed to waiting till the end of the decade, as normally is when the redistricting takes place. You've explained the Supreme Court decision that led you to do this. But what's going on, obviously, is not happening in Texas. It's not happening in a vacuum. We have Democrats in California and New York and other states saying, well, if Governor Abbott does this in Texas, we're going to add 5 Democratic seats. Are you not worried at all about a redistricting, gerrymandering arms race going on? And theoretically, is it not just better for voters to be picking their politicians instead of politicians to be picking their voters through gerrymandering?
That right there is something I've been saying. They're picking us. We're not picking them. They're going, oh, I'll have one of those. And I'll have one of those. Oh, that one's a maybe a little libertarian lean to the left. I want no part of that one. This one over here, libertarian lean to the right. That is not what this, our founding fathers didn't go, I've got a great idea. Because I figured they kind of had a little bit of a British accent. We will have people draw up maps. And in drawing up those maps, we will make it so they can never be defeated, no matter how piss poor of a job they do. It's not what they were dreaming of. Continue on, Governor Abbott.
Well, to be clear, listen, all those big blue states, they've already gerrymandered. Look at the map of Illinois. Look at the map of California, New York, and Massachusetts, and so many other blue states. They gerrymandered a long time ago. They got nothing left with regard to what they can do. And know this, if California tries to gerrymander 5 more districts, listen, Texas has the ability to eliminate 10 Democrats in our state. We can play that game more than they can because they have fewer Republican districts in their states.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
Okay, so that's a response to this guy.
Hey, President Trump, it's time to stand down. It's time to make another phone call to Greg Abbott. This time, instead of calling him and telling him you're, quote unquote, entitled to 5 congressional seats, it's time to tell him to stand down. It's time to recognize that democracy is at risk. It's time to, dare I say, do the right thing. Actually see how that feels for you, doing the right thing. If you don't, California will neutralize anything you do in the state of Texas. California will continue to punch above its weight. We believe in democracy. We believe in the enduring values of our founding fathers. 249 years. We're not going to sit back passively. We're not going to sit back and watch you light democracy on fire. We will fight fire with fire.
I'm going to say this. If the founding fathers were awakened today through some sort of wizardry or magic, they would probably kick the shit out of a vast majority of our politicians for being ridiculous, insane, money grubbing, sold for themselves. And I'm not saying, look, it's a business. It's become a business. That was not the goal of what politics is supposed to be about. You go, you build a life, you feel like you got a duty. I've got some wisdom and some stuff that I think I could help my area and I can go represent, and you go and do it. That is not it. Career politicians, what these people become, and they're worried about keeping power. They're not worried about the potential of you and I going, you know what? You didn't work hard for us, and we've got enough of you to replace you because you really were more interested in your shit than doing the job. And that is insane. We have to pick, not them. We do. And we need to remind them of that. And I would love to see us redraw districts in a way where, as we talked about it the other night, based on, no tentacles, no hopscotch, like we're going to jump these 5 streets and just no. Real maps done correctly, robots, AI, they'll do it. Real maps. But instead, we allow them to go, well, we're going to pick our own maps. It's like going, oh, I can grade my own paper and I'm not going to get in trouble for it. Oh, okay. Good God. Finally tonight, having some fun. I don't know if you guys are following this, but I'm a little obsessed with the insanity that is Rush Week across the nation, but in particular throughout the Southeast, because I'm out here in Nashville. And I'll tell you why. This lady explains it. I had no idea how expensive it was and is to be a part of a sorority. Now, prices may vary. See store for details. Not a licensed medical professional. But I will tell you this. I was shocked to find out the expense, not the one time, but the actual expense ongoing to be part of a sorority at a big campus, big school kind of thing.
In honor of Alabama Rush 2025, let's talk about how much money it costs to join a sorority at the University of Alabama, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be shocked by this. Also, I have named myself the official reporter of all things Alabama Rush, so make sure to stay tuned for more. I feel like a lot of people may not know this, but yes, it does cost money to join a sorority. I was in a sorority at a pretty small school in the Northeast, and our fees were about $450 a semester, which is relatively low in comparison to other schools. Other schools like the University of Alabama. Now, here's how much it costs to be in a sorority at the University of Alabama according to their website.
Now, I want you to pay attention. This is insane. Like, this is crazy AF. This is joining a sorority. But we're going to be lifelong friends. You are. But my God, we did that last week. The mounting debt of college kids, and they're crying because they've got $1,800, $2,000 payments. Where do you hear the price of this? This is insane.
If you decide not to live in the sorority house, it costs $4,100 to $5,048 a semester to be in a sorority. However, if you decide to live in the sorority house, it's $8,400 to $9,996 a semester.
Are you blanking kidding me? It's 10 grand. That is crazy. And I was shocked. I was like, maybe it's like joining a club. Like, maybe you pay a little bit. I didn't realize it was going to be that. And somebody pointed out, look, if you get a meal plan, you get all these kind of things, and you live at the dorm, not the dorm, but the house, a semester you're paying, $1,200-$1,300. So that's pretty good if you can rent and everything like that. But I think we think that people go to college and they go and they, okay, it's $40,000 a year or whatever, but you start adding all of these things up. I was just fascinated by the cost. Not everything costs like there isn't. There's some funny ones on the TikTok too. Rush Talk is hilarious because there's some you're like, little Omega Mooey. If you remember that from Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, the Omega Moose. I mean, there's a few of those. There's a few where you're looking at them going, I think this is a trailer park. I don't think this is actually a real sorority. The other thing is fit check, and I'm going to start doing that tomorrow. So you guys can get a fit check for me every day, so I can tell you all the stuff I'm wearing. Today, I'm wearing a Travis Matthews. Is it Matthews? I think it is. I got this. Big time at a Phoenix Suns golf event. I'm wearing shorts from someplace I can't remember, and I bought flip-flops off Amazon, and I've got a Fitbit. Tomorrow you'll get another fit check for me, and I'm sure it'll be spectacular. But some of these women are like, these are my golden gooses. And I'm like, what the hell's a golden goose? I go, look, it's like $600 for tennis shoes. And then they start talking about all the jewelry they wear. I was like, that's crazy. It is. I mean, look, we live in the greatest nation in the world, and the fact that people have these opportunities, but My goodness me, the cost is insane. You guys have a blessed night. Tomorrow we'll be back. Tomorrow night, my uncle and I, he's got COVID and he hadn't been feeling well, and he's doing better. He's doing better. We were joking the other day. I said, so, maybe not the old, it's not all it's cracked up. Because no, this thing kicked my ass. This is way worse than I thought it was going to be. I said, I told you it can't be. But we're going to come back tomorrow night. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with AI, the battle of AI, on top of all of the other things. And, we'll talk a little bit about the pooter, talk a little bit more about Palestine tomorrow. And the pooter thing, again, is interesting. They're meeting this weekend. I talked to my clients, our military analyst, and I asked him straight out, what do you think's going to happen? He's like, nothing. It was like, Putin's got nothing. What would he do? What do I have to worry about? They can't stop me. You're pretty much over the whole thing. And, it's a listening session. Even Trump yesterday tried to tamp it down. I was like, because he knows there's nothing that at all that he's going to be able to do to stop Putin right now. So Trump's going to have to make a decision, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. I got a lot of other stuff too as well. You guys have a blessed rest of your night. Follow along across all of our social media. If you're watching on the YouTube, like and subscribe, share to your friends. Appreciate when you do that. And can I just say this? Make sure you join me tomorrow, 6 to 9. Fantastic. On the radio, nationwide. Go to ChadBensonShow.com. Check out where we're playing in your neck of the woods. That is 6 to 9 Pacific, 9 to noon Eastern. Have a good Tuesday. Do it again tomorrow.